You're listening to the Hypno Fairy Godmother Show with Shirley Yance, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hypno Fairy Godmother Show. I'm so glad that you found me today. I am Shirley, a clinical hypnotherapist here in Los Angeles or around there. I'm also a coach and an advocate here in Southern California, and I've been a glitter and rainbow girl going way back. My specialty is working with the LGBTQIA community, BDSM, kink community, anybody that doesn't really feel like they fit in any other way. Everyone should have somebody to talk to, or at least somebody to listen. My other hope is that, we have a little fun, maybe you get a little inspiration, bring a smile to your face, maybe a giggle to your heart. You never know. Okay, so we need to get this show going. So y'all know how we do this. So make sure you're in a safe place, a safe place. No driving heavy equipment, none of that. No working on something you're supposed to be concentrating on. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a really nice deep breath. And exhale with a smile. All right, now we're going to do part 2. You know how much I love part 2. So safe place still. No messing around on this one. So everybody, I want you to wiggle your toes. Come on, wiggle toes. In your shoes, out of your shoes, I don't care. I'm barefooting it today, so that's no big surprise if you actually know me. All right, everybody, wiggle your butt. Come on, squeeze them cheeks together, scrunch them, wiggle your butt. And I ask you to do this because there is absolutely no way that you can do this without smiling. You know that about me. Okay, so I want you to take one more deep breath. And exhale, and as you exhale, just say, I got this. It's going to be okay. I am going to make this happen. And if you're having a bad day, just go, you know what? No big deal. Any affirmation that you need to say to keep you going, which is fabulous. So, you just got to keep moving. And if you got a little bit of extra time, roll that neck around, roll it around the other way, because you have now relaxed everything from your toes to your nose. Or since we started up here, that would be, your toes to your nose. Hey. You got to relax, got to chill, take some deep breaths. We're all a little stressy these days. No worries. Remember, if you like the show and you want to be a Patreon member, I got some great swag. Coming up. So every little bit helps. This is how we keep the show going. Looking for, little loving. So, check me out over on the Patreon. So everybody, I am so glad that you found me today, like I said. And today we're going to cover a little bit different of our Weeble Kung Fu. Just a little bit. That's the way that we become more of that person that we wish we would have had growing up. Or maybe just become a little more authentic you. And my guest today is perfect for that. So I hope you had a great weekend. Let's get this show going. So today I have a great guest. I lucked out on this one. This is Jordan. Hello, Jordan.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Perfect. Cool.
So you're very unique in this sort of my whole field of working with every community and everything and, putting your best foot forward. And, so you actually documented your transition on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And Instagram for everybody to see and experience with you. And then you started a whole company because you hadn't done enough. So we need to be a slight overachiever, which I love that. The more, the better.
Right.
So how are you doing today?
Good. I'm doing really good. Had a great day at work, and then I came home early to jump on this podcast, which is really cool. Thanks for having me on here.
Of course. Now, I'm a little confused. Are you in Texas or Colorado?
So I'm in Texas. My wife and I moved back to Texas about 4 months ago now.
Okay.
We were in Colorado for about 3 years. We were in Texas before that as well. So we were in
Right.
Texas, Colorado, now Texas again.
That's
Yeah.
why I was like, okay, I can't say how's it going in Colorado if
Right.
you're not there.
Yeah.
So for people there that don't really know too much of your story, why don't you give us a little rundown and enlighten the folks?
Okay. So my name is Jordan. I grew up in South Florida. I'm a transgender male. I transitioned about 4.5 years ago. I started taking hormones. So I was 25 years old. So, deep into my puberty, and I was already grown and had done a lot of things in life before I had kind of realized that that was the path I needed to take to, I guess, fully fulfill my life. So that's the beginning of my journey. um, but yeah, and then my company, I started a CBD company called Ziggy's Naturals. I just realized that CBD had a lot of benefits to people in my community, just because a lot of us deal with anxiety, or if we're into fitness, we deal with aches and pains, and CBD helps with a lot of those things. And so that's kind of a reason why I started a company that was in the CBD world, because I used CBD and it benefited me. So I felt like it could benefit my peers.
And that is the best way to start a company.
Yeah, right.
To have some background with it, to have some, I use it, good for me, that and it's a natural thing. I am definitely a proponent for CBD along with mental health. Kind of works together, get you a little calm down. Sometimes you just need to do that.
Yeah.
So when you started doing this, did you just did you try different areas, or did you always know that you wanted to start a CBD company? Did you try any other companies before then? Because some of us have gone up and down and up and down.
Yeah. So, I knew I wanted to do something with the cannabis field, just because how much I believed in the plant and all the benefits that it had. Even with, hemp can make paper, it can make clothes, there's so many benefits to this plant that, people are not, I guess, not scared to realize now, but it's still like a little there's still that stigma about it, where it's hard to not have it just because of the things that were talked about a long time ago and why it became illegal, even though those things weren't true, and who knows. But yeah,
exactly.
So I always wanted to start a cannabis company. So at first my dad and I, so I own a company with my dad and my brother,
which is incredible. I love that, because anytime you can get support from your family, it's hard enough to get support from your family when you grow up in the traditional, whatever the heck that is, family. But when you still have that family support after coming out or transitioning, it just, it's one of those things where you go, yay, parents.
Yeah. I remember even coming out as gay, when I was like, oh, I like girls, I was scared, but my dad almost came to me. So it made it a little bit easier, because it's like something he realized. So I think he brought it up to me, which in turn made it easier for me to admit, like, yes, that is who I am, and that's what I like, because whereas I feel like a lot of kids or children are scared to bring it up to their parents, because they're scared of what their reaction is going to be. So when the parents can, if you notice something, which I'm sure a lot of parents do because they're around their kid all the time, and they notice everything their kid does if they're paying attention to it,
Exactly.
So would be a lot easier for parents to bring that up to their children and ask those questions, because sometimes it will help the children in return be able to talk to them about it.
Well, that fear, that ultimate fear of coming out, is almost sometimes bigger than you build it up and build it up and build it up. And if you're really lucky, I had a dad that just went, yeah, duh. Okay, gotcha. And I had built up this big thing. And sometimes you're right. If parents notice something, it always surprises me when parents are completely shocked.
Yeah.
Because it's like, were you not looking?
Yeah.
What didn't you notice? You know, that always kind of amuses me when people go, oh my God, my parents were so surprised. We're like, okay.
Yeah.
We're with you anyway. We're good on that one. So, and then starting the company with your dad and your, and your family is great. How was your dad with starting a CBD company?
So my dad is also my dad's a sports agent, so he represents professional athletes. So that is his business. And I mean, he always would say to my brother and I, every time we'd get together during Christmas, he would tell us to come up with ideas or think of things we could do. You know, he'd always want to help people. So what could we do to help people? What could we do? What kind of company could we do that will help others? And I mean, eventually we were like, let's just start a CBD company. I had worked in the cannabis industry. And like I had said, I worked in the marijuana cannabis industry in Colorado. And so, you know, we thought maybe we would want to start a marijuana company, but there was just a lot of red flags and just a lot of, you know, obstacles to jump through. And you could only sell to specific state with that license. And where we realized with CBD, we could really benefit a lot more people since we could sell all over the United States. So that's kind of why we went that route. And the fact that we had all used CBD. My dad uses it for his elbow on his tendonitis. Just a lot of things that we all use in the family that realize they benefit us. And that's kind of why we chose that route as well.
Well, that makes total sense because it's the one thing that you can sell in all the states.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to get flagged by the post office or whatever. So it does make it a little bit easier because I know people that have tried to open up dispensaries and other products, and it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
I mean, just the red tape. And even starting out in Colorado, where it's a go pretty much everywhere, is kind of one of those things that, you know, you still have to think about. You're not just selling in that state.
Yeah.
You're selling to everyone. That's the goal, is to sell to everyone.
Yeah. So I mean, it was definitely great. But yeah, so my dad would always tell us to come up with ideas, and that's what we came up with. And Ziggy's Naturals is the name of our company, and my wife's name is Ziggy. So we kind of named it after her a little bit, just through her support, through our journey, through my journey, and just being close with our family. And her name sounded great, so we're like, that's what we're gonna use.
Well, so much for my where did the name come from?
Yeah. So it's my wife's name.
Jump into that one.
Yeah.
I noticed that, you know, she has her other career and stuff. Is she a part of this business more, or just namesake?
Just the name. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's not yet. I mean, hopefully one day when we come out with like maybe a skincare line or more of like a makeup, like a makeup kind of skincare line, then she would be more a part of it. She's really more makeup artist, burlesque dancer. She does all that stuff.
So uber girly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. Yeah.
You know, you just kind of have to see where things fit.
Yeah. Right.
If it's not a really good fit, don't force it.
Yeah. I don't think she wants to be like in the office every day with my brother, my dad, and I. Probably wouldn't be as fun for her.
I can kind of see where that could be kind of a turn.
Yeah.
So did you know her, you knew her before your transition?
Yeah. So I came out to her like basically, and my family kind of around the same time, where I was like, I'm pretty sure this is what I want to do. And when I realized what I wanted to do, I started taking hormones pretty quickly. I mean, when I look back at my whole life, I kind of realized my whole life I wanted to do this. I just never really had the resources I started to see when I got older, and like different people on YouTube, you know, like that I would follow, like other transgender guys that had been on hormones for like a few years, and I would watch them on YouTube, and Instagram wasn't as popular when I first came out either. So it was really more like the YouTube that I would watch. And I don't know, once I started seeing that, and then I realized I had a close friend who had transitioned, and after talking to him, I just realized like, wow, this is kind of what I've, wanted to do my whole life. And now I was like, wow, it's actually possible. You can do this. Like, I don't
And
know.
the
It's
worst
crazy.
part is when I work with people, because I deal with the mental health sort of end of this. And sometimes, that's your second coming out. That's your second, and having to do that all over again. And just the realization that if I don't do this, I'm going to be more messed up than if I do.
Yeah.
Because you have to live your authentic life. And, making that decision, most people make decisions like that and they don't put it on YouTube. So I'm glad that you're one of the people that, just like, this is from the first shot. The I'm not quite sure where I'm doing, what I'm doing, but that's good because nobody really gets to see or understand. They just see the end. It's not seeing the progression.
Yeah.
That is so important for other kids to see.
Yeah.
Some adults.
Yeah, I mean, adults for sure. I have people like reach out to me that are in their 40s. They're like, "Am I too late to transition?" I'm like,
Never.
if you're asking me that question, no, you're not too late. Like
You're not too late.
That's what you want, And if you can live the rest of your life like after 40 that way, then you should, because like that's what's gonna make the rest of your life the best it can be. So
it's about being that person that you wish. I always say being that person that you wish you would have had growing up.
Yeah, and I mean, when I was a kid, I used to like, when I now I think about things, and I used to wish I could be a boy for a day. Like I would lay in bed as a kid and like, I wish I could wake up for like as a boy just for the day. Like I don't know, like when people say you can make a wish and it could come true. Exactly. But like, I guess it did come true, because now like that's, and I just didn't realize then that was even a thing. So it's not like I really spoke out too much about it, but of course
we don't do that.
Yeah. We don't really know, because we go with what we think is like the right way, I guess.
And I mean, I grew up in a small town, and, depending on where you grow up, it's either you just lock it up or you just move far away.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to be able to know what you want and do it. And whether it's transitioning or starting a company, it's having that, I just know it. I can feel it. I know it. We got to do it. It'll drive you crazy if you don't.
Yeah, I'm definitely that person. So I try and put that out there to people, but not everybody, of course, we're all different. Not everybody's going to have the same drive or motivation as everyone else, but we all have that, like you're saying, whereas if you want to do something, you should do it, like, and try. I mean, of course, starting a company is a little bit different, because like, you need to make sure you have funding, and you need to make sure you have an actual plan, and it can't just be like, oh, I just want to start a company. But with transitioning, it kind of can be like that, like if that's how you feel, like, I mean, then that's right. Like if that's how you feel inside,
then you're doing it's one more of those things that you just have that internal feeling that you just know. People always go, so when did you know? And it's like, they make it sound like, when did you make that decision? That you just, I'm like, got up one morning, who knew? It's
well, you're like, when did you know?
Exactly. It's like, hello.
When like when you feel that feeling that you just know, like that's what you feel. And I mean,
you didn't get it out of a fortune cookie. You just internally, you just sort of know what you're doing. So one of the things that I like to ask people is, when it comes to mental health, what you do to just kind of keep it together. And I always call it nourishing your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Things that you just do that keep you going every day.
For me, I mean, I'm really into fitness. I feel like working out, even if it's not working out, lifting weights, even if it's just going to the gym to just ride on a bicycle or go on the treadmill, like I feel like having that time to myself where I'm putting work into myself, like really helps me like mentally. Like I realized that like when I hurt my back last week and didn't work out for a week, and I feel like my mental state was like lower than it normally is when I'm, walking the dogs every day and going to the gym every day. And like, I just feel so much better.
Well, that's you time.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe that's what it is. I really need, I like to give myself at least like, I don't know, an hour a day.
See, that's perfect.
Time to like really reflect on myself,
One of the great sayings is if you don't have 15 minutes to yourself, you need at least an hour.
Yeah. Huh.
It's like if you don't give it to yourself, then you need more time than that. And I think we all need me time.
Yeah.
So that's why it's kind of a nourishing your soul, little things that you do just for you, for nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that we all have, those things. I think that, and especially if you're busy. And you seem to be quite busy. So,
yeah. I like to be busy, but I guess, you're right. Like I feel like the gym time though doesn't seem like a busy time for me. Like you're saying,
right.
Like when I'm saying, it's that time where, it is like busy because it adds another hour to my day where I have to be doing something, but it's the time where I get to really think about myself. So
exactly. That's you time.
Yeah. It's the actual hour I need.
Exactly. There's nobody around you. You can put on your headphones. You just figure out, and just work it out. And you get into a zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the best part and that is actually a type of hypnosis. Okay. When you're getting into that zone, because you kind of lose track of people around you and what's happening. And it's a perfect time to just kick back and relax and,
Yeah.
I mean, I realize working out isn't kick back and relax, but for you and for a lot of other people, it actually is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's your relaxing time.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I mean, of course I like I'm an outdoorsy person. I love to go on hikes and be on the lake if I'm in Texas, because that's where the lake is. But if I'm in Florida, the beach, I really like being near like bodies of water. I always feel like it's very peaceful. And I mean, of course, I'm sure you,
I'm a West Coastie. So
the ocean,
So, that's my little zone.
Yeah.
Is we all have a place.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's definitely going out to the water.
Yeah.
And, I go down the West Coast. You apparently just go through the bottom, south, just all the way down, following the curve.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to make sure you got some water in there.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we all need.
Yeah, I know. Water is peaceful.
It really is. Yeah. I know people that they find their place in the desert or in the woods, but always been a water girl. So,
yeah. I mean, I like the woods and stuff too, but I feel like just the water, like the listening, I don't know. It's just really, I like that.
Yep. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So now that your company has started growing, are you in all 50 states? Are you all?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much have sold to all 50 states, I would say. We're mostly online sales. We're in a few like chiropractors' offices and a few stores in Florida. And I think we're in one I can't remember, so I don't want to be wrong. But I know we're here in Texas as well. And then another state, but mostly just online sales. I mean, we've even sold to Alaska the other day. We had an order from Alaska. So yeah, just United States. We would like to be out of the United States, and it is legal actually to ship to certain countries. We're just still trying to figure out, if it will get past customs and how much shipping would be. And we just want to make sure we're like exactly on par before we start shipping it out to there.
Yeah, if you're going to start shipping, especially that product, first of all, you don't want it to get lost in the mail or complicated.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, once you go international, things get crazy.
Yeah. Just would hate to like for people to start paying, for a lot of shipping and then the product and then stuff not to get across customs. So we're going to figure that out first before we actually start shipping out of the state. But we've definitely had a lot of inquiries from like Canada and some other countries just through like Instagram. And I mean, Instagram has followers from all over the world. So
do you find that Instagram works better than maybe any other social media for you?
For us, yes. And maybe that's just because my outlet at first, and I guess my connections through social media and the other like influencers and partners that, because we don't really like to call our like influencers. We really like to call them more like partners. Like they're like part of our family. Like we talk to them on the phone all the time. We like, we have like relationships with them. It's not just like we send them product and we're like post our product. We're like, no, like use our product. If you like it, like now we want to be your partner. We want to make sure they actually use and like our stuff and like us before they partner up with us.
Because you can tell when somebody doesn't believe in a product.
Yeah.
Even though that they're maybe paid to pitch it or whatever, you can always tell when somebody's like just going through and you can hear it and you can see it. So especially with a product that is with the CBD product, it works or it doesn't work.
Yeah. And there's so many different things that it could work for too. That's like, which we find out almost every day from customers like, oh, I use it for this. And we're like, oh, wow. Like we didn't even realize that. Yeah. So it's definitely really cool. But
for me, it's muscles. Use it on my muscles.
That's a lot of our fitness people. Like that's what they like to use it on their muscles.
And you don't have to do that panic about if my company drug tests me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so,
how does that work?
So it can possibly show up. We're not going to say like it 100% cannot show up on a drug test. Our gummies are 100% CBD isolate, so they will not show up. There's no THC in theirs at all. Our pen is no THC at all. But the tinctures and the salve and the lotion are full spectrum. So they have less than 0.3% THC. So if you're getting really, really like crucial drug tests, which have like really deep end paneling that really goes like in depth into like every single thing that's in there, it may show up, so we don't want to tell someone that's like, like if I fail my drug test, I'm going to lose my job. Like, I'm not going to tell you to like, you have, it's not going to show up,
Exactly.
Like I'm going to say, they could use our gummies or the pen and that's no THC. So, and the panel tests don't have CBD on there. But there's so many other cannabinoids like CBDA, CBDG, like there's so many that who knows what they may be testing for specifically that could show up and they might not like. So I just would recommend maybe if you're getting drug tested for something really important to just not take it, like
always better to be safe.
Yeah.
Than to just go, no, we're going for it.
Yeah. And that's what we'll tell people. And if they want to do it, then that's fine. But
that's on them.
Yeah.
You got to figure that people buying this are grown adults. So, you know the risks. You also know that there's not a huge risk. It's not like you are taking the THC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you probably just go get a regular drug test at like a regular place where it's just like 4 panel that tests for like certain things, it's probably not going to show up because it's not a high trace. So it just really depends.
Yeah. I wouldn't think that they'd be going after the CBD users, but you never know these days.
Yeah, right? Who knows?
So what are the future plans for your business?
We just plan on growing. We just actually signed a new partnership with someone who's really big in like the bodybuilding community that we're really excited about. He's the world's strongest gay man, actually.
I know him.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for you.
So it's like has not been announced yet, of course. I know it's okay. He's gonna announce it hopefully coming up this week. So so he's just someone new that we're bringing onto the team that's gonna be really exciting. And he seems like a really awesome guy, him and his husband. We just signed up with another trans bodybuilder who he wants to be like the first trans Mr. Olympia. And his name is Alex Talinka. We work with someone named Aiden Dowling, who's really big in the community. He was on the cover of Men's Health. He's a trans guy as well. And he's also more like a speaker in this community. Like he goes to a lot of colleges and does a lot of talks. He's been on hormones for a really long time. Like he's someone, I think he was on hormones for like 4 years when I first started. So, like he's someone I followed on YouTube when I first
well, that's always nice.
Yeah.
That, that you've got this partnership and you're not running from the community. You're kind of running to the community. Yeah,
we're definitely trying to, that's our plan now going forward. We realize like how much CBD can really benefit the community, like we've said. And just we want to help the community as well. Like we work with a bunch of different fundraisers, like the Drew Project out in Orlando, and Pride Center of San Antonio out here, where we like give back to them like monthly, and do a bunch of different like sponsor programs with them. And we're trying to do that more with more and more LGBTQ foundations. So we're just really trying to support the community as much as we can, because I'm trans, so clearly it's real. It's not just an outer source. Like, we are an LGBTQ owned company. Right. So the more that we can give back. Yeah, right. This is actually my new hat.
It's a great logo, but
yeah. I know. We just actually incorporated the rainbow logo when the pride flag changed, like all the colors. So we just did that pretty recently, which we were excited about too, because it's really exciting for me to have my brother and my dad be so on board with, let's just support the community, and like that's our niche, and like these are the people who need it. Everybody could use CBD, like everybody.
And it's one of the things that I recommend. Mm-hmm. I do mental health and I am a hypnotherapist, but there are certain things that if you need your brain to slow down, or you need, CBD is actually the safest thing out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To do that actually has an effect.
Yeah. And it's because our e-cannabinoid system, that's like part of our body, basically like everybody has it. And so we have receptors like our CB1 and CB2 receptors that every human has. Like when you put CBD in there, or THC, or any of those cannabinoids, they react with those receptors and actually do what they're supposed to do, compared to like, some other, let's say, drugs, right? That don't, like pills and stuff that some people take that are not the best, like don't react well. And that's why sometimes bad things do happen when those things are introduced. Whereas with CBD, it's like you have those receptors in your body made for it. So like when you put that in your body, it's just only doing what it's supposed to do.
It doesn't do your body any good if you're trying to like, mask it or whatever. Like it's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah.
People just don't quite have that whole idea yet. Mm-hmm. And, you'll still hear people go, nope, it's a drug. It's like, okay. And there are certain people that you will never convince.
Yeah. Yeah.
In any community, there are people you will
no, for sure.
They're always like, no, you're trying to get me to take something bad.
Yeah.
It's like, I know there's not a lot of trust here, but you get a little bit. Trust me, just a little bit. Yeah. That's one of those things that makes me kind of laugh sometimes when you're trying to go, I'm doing this to help. It's like, you don't understand. I'm not trying to poison you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying, like in my case, I'm a hypnotherapist. So people come up to me and they're like, don't look into her eyes. Don't da-da-da. What are you trying to? And I'm like, just trying to help your people. Okay. Nothing evil.
Yeah.
You know, not a 1950s movie.
Yeah.
It's the difference between, you know, with me, it's the 1950s movies with Bela Lugosi and stuff like that. With your product, it's more like Reefer Madness, where people, you know, they tend to overreact sometimes.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's doing it. It's like, seriously?
Yeah.
You lost your minds here. Okay. Just take
I mean, even with like the lotion, people are like, is that going to get me high? I'm like, no, it's lotion. Like, it's just like a lotion. Like,
have you ever gotten high through your hands before?
Yeah.
It's yeah. You know, and a lot of it, especially on your part, is kind of like what I have to do. And it's a lot of education. It's so much education.
Yeah.
Because you do have to convince. Now, younger generations, and, you know, they're like, I got this. This is not a problem. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
But for some, you know, you have to do the massive education and show them. It's like, you have research. You go to a third party. You didn't just do this in your kitchen. You know?
Yeah.
It's like some lotion works really well from your kitchen.
Yeah.
Other times, if you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna sell it as an actual, you know, natural product, you gotta have some background, you know.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I really liked, is that you go to a third party.
Yeah.
To have everything checked out to make sure there's consistency. Yeah,
and we have QR codes on which now everyone's familiar with, because they're at like every restaurant. If you go out to eat, they're like, you scan the QR code to look at your menu.
Exactly.
Nobody used to know what QR codes are, and now like everyone does because we use them everywhere. But so we have QR codes like on the bottom of every single item, and it's like, it takes you right to that lab report of that specific batch. So so like every new batch is going to have a different QR code with the exactly what's in it, like what the percentage is of everything and all that. So yeah, we try and like be really, what's the word? I can't even think of it.
You want to be consistent, and you want to be open, and
and just, you know, show everybody like where our products come from, what's in them, so they know what they're taking.
So do you have like a set supplier?
Yeah, so we work with a farm out in Colorado.
Perfect.
And that's who we've been working with.
You know, I always worry when people are like, "Oh yeah, we work with several." Like,
no.
Okay.
We've been working with the same one since the beginning, and they've only grown as well. So they're definitely doing really good. I believe they're like one of the top 10 hemp farmers in the United States. So.
Oh, that's great.
And we met them through like a family friend too. So just a close relationship. It's really nice.
That's the best, because then you don't have to worry about anything. You can trust what you're getting and what you're giving to your clients, because they're your clients too. Yeah. I know it's really hard, that definition between the clients and the customer. It's like, well, they're kind of
both, right? Yeah. Yeah.
We sort of believe in both of them.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're just planning on growing and keeping going, and
hopefully just doing more stuff within the community. You
know, California is a great place to do that.
Oh yeah.
You know, we're a great big, great big state. Lots of, you know, big on the community here. So trying to get through onto like maybe the Pride circuit is always.
Yeah, that's what we were actually looking at right before COVID. We were like looking at trying to go to like Pride, the Pride in New York, and the Pride in Florida, and the Pride in, I think, San Francisco. Those are like the three we were looking at. And then of course COVID happened, and so we're like, yeah, we'll go to Pride eventually. But we went to the Philly Trans Conference.
Oh, okay.
So not this past year, the year before. And it was our first year there. It was my first year there, and it was amazing. Both my parents came with me, and we did the booth together. So it was really cool. And it was awesome for them to like get to see all these people that are trans. I don't know. It's just really cool, you know?
It's amazing because, the first time my dad went with me to Pride, it
Yeah.
was just kind of an eye-opening thing. And it's like, I'm not here to freak you out, but if you want to know more, this is where we go.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic's been going on, how is that? Has that affected your business or the way you do stuff?
Not really. We definitely would have been at more events, like had a booth at more events, maybe been at more markets, but our business has still been going great. The pandemic kind of caused me to move back here a little bit faster than I probably would have. So I think it's actually helped our business because having me, my dad, and my brother all in the same office finally just really helps us get a lot more done, because I was in Colorado, my brother was in Florida, and my dad was here. And so it's kind of, we were getting stuff done, but not really. We were just like, this is a business, now it's like, all right, this is our company. Like, now we have to grow this company.
Right.
So, yeah.
You can only do so much via the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
You can talk, but if you're not there.
Yeah.
So that's got to be huge to be able to do that. We're all hoping that this is over soon so we can get back to our prides and,
I know.
back to actually going out again.
Yeah, I know. And same. Yeah.
It's like seeing humans face to face.
I know. I think it's definitely starting to get hard for some people. I'm definitely more of a person that likes to talk to people and see people a lot too. So it's starting to catch up where I'm like, all right, like when are we going to get to go, or when are we going to feel safe to go hang out with people? And I guess for my wife and I, like she works with kids right now. So she's trying to be as safe as possible. And same as like, I see my grandparents, so I'm trying to be as safe as possible. So we don't go out to eat or see anyone. And it's starting to get like, yeah, it sure affects a lot of people's mental health. It's really sad.
It really does. Cause at first everybody was like, okay, I'm good with this.
Yeah.
And then as it's been going on, it's more the stress, and then there's the anxiety, and one thing just builds on to the next.
Yeah.
Which is why I try to like have people on that can go, okay, we can do this even during the pandemic. We can still see people. May not be the exact thing that you want, but at least you kind of have some connection.
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit, but I can't wait until,
right.
So we get to go back. Yeah. I went from working in an office to working from home.
Yeah, so even when you go to the office, even if you don't want to go every day, now you're like, wow, I miss it because I miss seeing people every day.
Exactly. When did that happen?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I was like looking forward to getting up and going in.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell people it's like at least twice a day, do a mental health check.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that, if something's going on, do what you need to do. Do your meditations. Do something to, call somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be perfect, but just to have somebody to vent and listen.
Yeah.
I think we all need that.
Yeah.
And I think that, with what you're doing with your company is helping on that mental health track. Mm-hmm. Because it's one less thing for people to be anxious about.
Yeah.
That they can get relaxed, or they can unwind a little or stop a muscle from hurting, because now it's hard to go to see a doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anything starts to act up, we start to panic.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard enough to find a good doctor, and then you find a good doctor, and then it's like, now we're all telehealth. Okay.
Right. It's definitely rough.
So anything that we can do to make it go a little bit easier.
Yeah.
With you, it's the CBD, and me, I just walk around going, okay, breathe, people. Everybody breathe. Come on, everybody breathe.
Yeah.
That's why I start everything with, okay, we're gonna take a nice deep breath now.
Yeah.
People just look at me now and they go, yeah, breathe, got it. I'm going to breathe.
Hey, that's good because sometimes people forget.
Really, you know what? They really do, which is funny because I have people that go, I've been breathing forever. And I'm like, not right.
Yeah.
You've been breathing. You're just not breathing quite right. Let me help you with
that. Yeah. That's funny.
I'm sorry. No matter how old you are, I walk up to you and I go, no, you've been doing it all wrong.
You're like, I could tell.
You're just not. So we're gonna sit here and we're gonna breathe for a minute.
Yeah.
I know people just... The nice thing too is that you decided to take control of your destiny. And that's something that I also encourage people to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I fully admit to people that I am the queen of some epic mistakes, but I own them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in control.
Mm-hmm.
And you took that control. So that makes it that much, you know, better that you didn't let anybody or anything stop you.
Yeah.
You know, you got to keep going with that.
Yeah, that's definitely what I try to tell people who reach out to me on Instagram, you know, and who have questions about how they're feeling. So,
you know, just take control of it and do it and go with it.
Yeah.
Where can everybody find you?
They can find me mostly on Instagram. I feel like I use Facebook, but not too much. My Facebook is mostly my family, I guess. And I go on there sometimes. I really don't much. I feel like maybe twice a week. On Instagram, though, I'm on there like every day. So they can find me on Instagram. And my Instagram is at Jordan Pollack. And then our company is at Ziggy's Naturals. So yes, those are the two places.
The two big places.
Yes.
And you know, if the Facebook is mostly your family, you don't really want crazy people on there anyway going, guess what? You know. So you got it. Sometimes, you know, you got to keep those two things separate.
Right.
Together. Well, know that you can come back anytime. And if you got an announcement, got a new product, got something you want to do, just, you know, give me a jingle, because
cool.
My whole thing is supporting and getting word out there that there are companies out there that are ran by us and a successful people in the community, and you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people, they can, yes.
It's scary sometimes. Well, no, it's scary a lot.
Yeah, it's still scary, but life is scary, you know, so it can't hold you back.
You just got to keep pushing it forward. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And like I said, anytime, you know, you got an announcement or got a new product, give me a call.
Cool.
We'll get you back on.
Cool. And I guess if we can give people, if they hear us on here and they want to go shop at our shop, you can use, what discount should we should give them? What we could use, Fairy or Hypno? Okay, so we'll do Hypno 25.
Perfect. Oh my God, that's so great.
And it'll be 25% off.
Oh, you are incredible. May have to use that myself.
Yes, go for it.
So have a great day and enjoy the rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you so much.
So as you all know, that was a great interview. But as you all know, I repost all of my shows and podcasts. So you'll be able to re-listen to this if you missed anything fun. Make sure you're in a safe place this one last time, because, you know, safe place. I know y'all got relaxed, but now I need you to pay attention a little bit. So we're going to take this one more last deep breath. We want to do it right. Hold it and exhale with a smile. Thank you so much for tuning in. Always remember to have a smile on your face. It makes people wonder what you're up to. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you next week.
You're listening to the Hypno Fairy Godmother Show with Shirley Yance, only on LA Talk Radio.